Hello, today I have Sgt Perry, who is Senior Executive Director at Interfaith Community Services in Inglewood, Colorado. Sandra,
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Thank you
So,
for having me.
thank you. No, my pleasure.
hmm
So, why don't you tell me about your college life and early childhood and college life?
Early, early childhood and college life. Well, my parents are from the island, from Jamaica, and so the family moved to the United States when many of the kids, I have four siblings, we were very young, and I knew from an early age that I had to go to college. It was just something innate in me. My mother got a degree in nursing, so I grew up with her going to school, reading books, taking tests, and so I knew I wanted to do that. And then my oldest sister, she's 5 years older than me, she got accepted to Fairleigh Dickinson University. And I always wanted to do everything my sister did, so I knew because she did that, I was going to college. So I was on the college track, went to Eastside High School, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Lean on Me movie.
I
That's the
am.
high school I went to, the principal with the baseball bat.
Uh,
So, a lot of learning didn't go on there for very many students, but for me it did because I was on the college track. Nothing could deter me except for my husband, your cousin, and so we ended up marrying at a very, very early age. And I promised my parents no matter what, I was going to go to school, and we ended up having kids. I was a teenager, so was he. So, with the environment that I come from, Paterson, New Jersey, teenage pregnancy, I should not even be as successful as I am
yeah.
today. But I knew through loving guidance from my parents that I had to go to school. The education was definitely going to be the difference in my success and opportunities for my children further on. So, married my husband, went to college. First college was William Patterson University. After I graduated, the top 10% of the high school class.
Oh, wow.
Rude awakening when I got to William Patterson College that Eastside High School really did not teach me, give me the tools that I needed to be successful. So a lot of what I had to go back and learn, it was self-taught that way because I knew I needed to be successful. So Jeff is in the military. We moved 5 times, five
Wow.
different duty stations. So I attended 5 different colleges and ended up finishing with 2 kids at the time. University of Maryland. So finished that. And I figured he loved the military and I knew he was going to retire. So what other way can I provide an opportunity for us to be successful? I needed to go on to get a master's degree at that time. And so I did. I got a master's degree in education leadership at Troy State University. And education's wonderful. I love it.
So, where were you before you came to Interfaith?
I was executive director for a very small nonprofit through the Colorado Realtors Association. And prior to that, I did some teaching at an alternative schools. And I really do like education, but somehow got whisked away into the nonprofit path. And so I've been at Interfaith Community Services for 15 years now.
Oh, okay. So, what brought you on to Interfaith? Uh,
Who brought me on to Interfaith? It was a chance meeting with a gentleman who was affiliated with the Realtor Association and Interfaith. At that time, they were hiring for or seeking an executive director, and I was only 32 at the time. And interviewed for the position and got it, and wow, I've been there ever since.
wow. So, what were some major projects that you had to take on?
Well, when I started at Interfaith, most people feel as though when you're a nonprofit, you shouldn't run the organization like a business, but you have to. And so my first order of business, when I started there, I needed to make sure that the employees had pretty good benefits and their salary was comparable to what others in the industry was making. When I got there, most of the staff people, they were not even making as much as the clients who were coming to us.
Okay.
So I probably spent about 10 years organizing the internal structure of the organization with the help of the board of directors. So now the majority of the staff, their salaries are up to par with those in the industry, and they have benefits. Go figure for a nonprofit, so we're doing okay.
Wow, okay. So are there any other big projects on the way?
Well, looking forward, we're hoping to get a new building for the organization in the next 3 to 5 years. That's going to be a huge capital campaign. I've just hired on a development director that will help me in that process, because development includes me as the executive director, the board of directors, and the development director. So we have to have a strong structure in order to be able to raise the capital funding that we need to get the building so that we can serve more people and provide resources to those who need our help.
Okay. So how did it change? Why did the organization change from Interfaith Task Force to Interfaith Community Services?
That's a very good question. So Interfaith Task Force was founded by Maida Navis in 1964, incorporated as a nonprofit in 1968. But when I got there in 97, and I had several board of directors or directors who sat on the board who were very progressive. So we just decided to take a look at all of the programs and services and the interfaith structure itself. The name interfaith is confusing. We're not a church, we're not a religious organization, we're a community-based organization. So we didn't want to go there yet to change the name because we're a pillar in the community and a lot of people know the organization by Interfaith Task Force. But we did take a look at what the word task force means. A task force, by definition, means a group of people that are put together to solve a specific problem in a specific time frame. And I don't think hunger and homelessness and, the working poor is going to go away. So we said, okay, let's look at what we really do. We provide services to the community. So we went from Interfaith Task Force to Interfaith Community Services.
Wow. So what would be the daily amount of, your average amount of people who come in to seek help?
We serve, let me tell you, annually, close to about 20,000 individuals annually. And we provide basic emergency services. Food, clothing are the basics, but also financial assistance for rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. So we help a lot of people.
Wow, man, so that seems like a lot. Are there any other organizations in the area that you partner up with to?
Absolutely. We do a lot of referrals back and forth. Denver Urban Ministries is one. The Action Center, which is located in Jefferson County, because what we do, we can't do alone. The resources just aren't there to help everyone. So we have to partner. We have to refer back and forth to all of the organizations that provide the services that we do.
Oh, okay. So when you're not with Interfaith on your downtime, weekend time, what are some leisurely activities that you take
What
part in?
downtime? I spend most of my weekends working. No, we for hobbies, we like to take road trips. My husband and I, we love to travel the United States. I love to read. And because education is just one of those things that no one can ever take away from you. And so that's near and dear to me. So I'll read anything that's in front of me. And I also like to garden, believe it or not. So
Okay.
that's what I do in my spare time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So as far as to jump back to interfaith, were there any racial setbacks that you faced being on that level of responsibility at interfaith?
You know, not outright, I don't think. Like I said, I was this 32-year-old young black woman at this community organization in this mostly Caucasian or white area, because our service area is Littleton, Inglewood, Sheridan, Lone Tree, Highlands Ranch. So not outright. There was just one incident. At the time, my development manager and I were at a church at a speaking engagement, and the people at the church just knew that I was her assistant. And she did say to the gentleman in charge, I am not the boss, she is. You know, I'm her assistant. So that's just about the only thing that I can recall ever being a little racial tension there. But other than that, no.
That seems pretty good. Are there going to be any other, let's say, any other ventures that you want to take after your time is finished?
After my time is done at
after
Interfaith.
Your position
is done at Interfaith. You know, my passion about education is so strong that hopefully, you know, once I get the building for Interfaith and we move on, or I move on from that position, it will definitely be something within the education arena. Because getting the education leadership degree, I thought that I would be a superintendent of a school district or something. So I don't know, who knows what the future holds, but it will involve something dealing with education.
Okay. And do you also feel that your job that you've done is going to be remembered at Interfaith?
I think so. And again, you know, I'm not in it for me. I'm in it for what Interfaith can provide to those people in need, to those people in the community who are struggling. And it's for me to line Interfaith up with the resources so that we can distribute them to those who really need it. But for sure, I want to make sure that we have the capacity that we can fulfill those needs.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming and speaking with me about Interfaith.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you.